Hello everyone, this is the recording for week 5. The week 5 discussion is due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. 3 replies are due Sunday. Don't forget your APA reference and in-text citation. You're to search for some interesting Java code. What is the URL of the code you found? What does the code do and how does it work? You can show examples or however you want to do that. Explain it. You can even do pictures. How could this code be used in a real website? Try to avoid posting the same information as other students. So if someone posted before you, try not to use the same Java code. Okay, so the assignment is due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. It's Lab 3 project for Chapter 10, starts on 5:04. You're to start Notepad++. If you haven't been using Notepad++, I really recommend it. It makes it a lot easier to figure out where to add things. It's free. You can just search, do a Google search for it and install it. It doesn't cost anything. So then you're going to open the HTML file 10-3, which is in the Chapter 10 in the lab folder of the student files. Turn around right then and save it for 10.3 solution. This is the one you're going to turn in. You're to add a scrolling message. A scrolling message has 4 basic components: the display object, a form text field, the text message to scroll in the text field, the position of the next character in the text field, a time delay. I don't know why that turned out weird for my source, but oh well, I'll fix it later. Code to create the form and a text field can be found on table 10.1 on page HTML 458. So this is the code, the form ID, and then of course you need the style and alignment and all of that, and then the end of the form. So line 67 starts the form and uses the ID attribute to give the form a unique name. In this case they're using message MSG form. Then line 68 with the P tag and an inline style that centers the text field. The form input tag is a text type which creates a text field that can receive data. The text field is named scrolling message and is set to a size of 25. Line 69 is the closing of the form. So you need to insert the form in and the text field code into the file you have open, the 10.3 solution, after the banner image. Following the image, the following image is using Note++. So you see that I'm indicating after the banner image. So if we go to Note++ and we go down, we find the banner, there's a blank line. This is where you're going to put your code for the scrolling message. And if we go to the website, whoops, so I opened it. This is the pop-up, so we'll talk about that later, but this is the scrolling message and it just scrolls through, and that's what you want it to look like. Everything else on this page is already on that file. You don't have to do anything about that. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so you're going to use the embedded style sheet class, align center to center the form. So see the example in the above image. Oh, I was talking about how it looks. I already showed that. You're going to add the date the web page was last modified in the blank line before the body tag at the bottom of the web page. So if we go back to Note++ and we go down, so this blank line here before the body tag is where you're going to add your website last updated. Now how come, I wonder why it already says that on mine. So see, it already says that, but that's what I'm expecting you to have on yours. Maybe I already changed it. I can't remember. But that's what I'm expecting. Alright, then use either a div or a footer tag with an inline style but a left align of 25% and the ID attribute last date. You're going to need a pop-up window should display when the message is opened, and it's the one indicated in figure 1046A. The pop-up window is 600 pixels wide and 390 pixels high. The pop-up file name is 10.3announce HTML. And that's also in the lab files. You may have to allow the pop-ups in your browser to test your web page and make sure the pop-up works. So if I go back, let me show the pop-up to you. So when it popped up right there. This is basically what you need, is this pop-up. And you have to allow pop-ups if they are not allowed in your browser. For instance, in Chrome, you go to settings. So I went to settings. Then you have to show advanced settings. Let me hide the advanced settings. Then you're going to show the advanced settings. You're going to go down to content. And you're going to scroll down to pop-ups. Oops, did I miss it? And you're going to allow site pop-ups to show. You could make an exception, but you just need it to test, and then you can go back and turn it off. And then just select done. Now that's for Chrome, which I recommend you use. If you're using Internet Explorer or Firefox, then you'll probably have to look it up. I didn't look it up to help you with that, but if you need help and you don't know how to do it and you want some help, let me know. Okay, let's go back here. So you're going to submit all the files in a zip file, so I expect you to send your changed file. It's nice if you include your pop-up, but I do have a copy of that, so it doesn't really matter. And that's all. I didn't really assign anything, any need to do anything unique, because really this is a pretty simple assignment. So next I'm having the study guide for the final. I'm still not able to get it where you can see my highlights, although I've been in contact with the publisher to find out the problem, and it seems that you were given a different ISBN number than the one I have. So I'm trying to find out how to get that book. So that's the issue. So in chapter 9 is about JavaScript, which can make a web page more interactive and attractive by adding a scrolling message and changing the characteristics of some objects. Then on HTML 4.13 in chapter 9, we talks about properties or attributes that describe an object's characteristics. Then on 4.13, History keeps track of web pages visited. Methods are actions that objects can perform. So in this sample code, the object is truck, the method is load. So then on page 417, Java sections can always start with a script tag which indicates the language being used. And also on 417, this comment line after the script tag is used to hide the JavaScript code in the event a browser does not recognize JavaScript code. On 419, Boolean data files contain logical data that can be one of two values, such as true or false, yes or no. Then on 422, a relative address is the location of a byte in a string of bytes as defined by its position relative to the first byte in that string. The address of the first byte in a string of characters is 0. Then on 434, place the onload event handler in the body tag. Then in 457, the scrolling message is a text string assigned to a variable. On 461, type begin in pause equals begin in pause plus 1 to increment the position locator by 1. On 462, I have the focus method, which starts with document form name, object name, focus, and then the comments about that focus method. So you can read that. It's 1011. Then on 66 in table 410, the if condition, it starts with the if statement, starts with the if condition. Then the JavaScript statements which would indicate the if condition to be true. So then you have the if condition, then you have your Java statements. Then in 472, window, the window can have onload, on unload, on blur, and on focus. Chapter 10 covered the math POW function, and I couldn't find these exactly stated, so even though it covered it, it didn't really talk about exponent power. So the math.pow with the 2 parentheses function returns the base to the exponent power. That is base and then of course exponent, like 3 to the second degree or something like that. So math.pow base exponent, that's the example. And so for instance, math.pow 2, 3 would give you the base, which is 2, to the third power. And that's all I have for this week covering chapters 9 and 10. If you have any questions or problems, please let me know.